Mr. B, XRP here, and welcome back. We've seen a little dip in the market in the last couple hours, but now it seems to be potentially rebounding back. Let's look at the numbers. Bitcoin is teetering at that $100,000 mark. It's at 100,421. Ethereum's at 3,314. Tether's holding comfortably at $1, and XRP's at $2.39. So today, as everyone knows, was the big launch of the Canary Spot ETF. And we're starting to see some numbers roll in. 223 million tokens worth $557 million have already flowed in. Look, we're expecting $1 billion to $8 billion to flow into XRP ETFs in short order, because there are 8 to 11 of them that are supposed to go live in the next several weeks. So it's going to be interesting what happens, and we're going to be keeping our eyes on it. Before we get into the news, and by the way, I've got all kinds of great stuff to share with you. I want to share with you toward the end of this video the blockchain that nobody's talking about, and it's not XRP. I want to make you guys aware of this blockchain. There's some DeFi information in the news I want to talk about. I want to talk about the checkered flag for crypto and XRP, what really, really, really is going to be the final piece of the puzzle. And also the UFC is in the crypto news. But before we do, one of my sponsors is iTrustCapital. I've been with iTrustCapital since they started the company. If you're looking for a crypto IRA, they're the company to go to. Traditional, Roth. You can even convert a 401k into an IRA. And also they have PCA accounts, premium custody accounts, which is a place where I also keep my digital assets as well, because in a hot wallet, if somebody hacks your account, they can send your crypto to China, to Russia, to New Jersey, wherever they want to send it. But at iTrustCapital, it's in institutional grade cold storage. Nobody can hack into your account and steal your crypto. It's not possible. The worst thing that they could possibly do, if they did hack your account, is send your money to sell out your position and send your money to your bank account. How great is that? We don't want that to happen, but God forbid, that's the worst case scenario. They can't steal your crypto. So institutional grade custody is the best custody in the business. Use the link in the description of this video and you'll get a $100 funding bonus. And I appreciate you doing that. All right, so let's jump in. Paul Barron posted, he also posted about the XRP inflows, and I think his post was before the last one I just talked about. But this was where they had done $26 million in volume in the first 30 minutes. But I think we have more accurate information in that first post. So we're going to keep moving on. Watcher Guru posted this. UFC announces exclusive partnership with crypto prediction platform Polymarket. Polymarket is very interesting. We can't use it here in the US, or the last time I tried to, I couldn't. But when I see their numbers, their percentages of something happening and not happening, my God, it's just so accurate. So I'm very interested in Polymarket. I want to look more into it and learn more about it. All right, so this is Kevin O'Leary talking about crypto and DeFi. I want you to hear this. Hang on.
Crypto, what is that? What percentage is in gold? You had some in gold before.
Yeah, I have 5% in gold. Okay. So crypto for the first time is more than gold for me. And I'm going to keep my gold. Right. I see no reason not to sell it. But right. Crypto, it's not just betting on the price of Bitcoin anymore. There's so many other ways to invest, particularly in blockchain opportunities. Solana, Ethereum,
Don't dare say XRP. Don't do it.
And then, of course, level 2 is the derivatives that are put on top of Ethereum and Solana and all the others. So I've really become a student of what's going on there. I think there's many markets where, for example, NFTs are going to be growing very quickly. I just see a lot of investment opportunity, and I'm going to be an investor in that space.
Well, let's talk about that now, because you have taken a big bet in DeFi and NFTs as well. Let's start with DeFi. I mean, your colleague, Mark Cuban, has also said, look, this is going to be the biggest disruptor to banks. Do you agree with that?
I do. I see lots of use cases for decentralized and centralized finance. And I'll give you an example of one that I think is ripe for disrupting. The currency markets and currency trading are the largest markets in the world. Trillions of dollars every week are exchanged between different currencies for many different reasons. And every time you do that, you get clipped for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 basis points. So if I want to buy a Swiss stock trading on Zurich, I have US dollars, I have got to convert my USD into Swiss francs and then buy the position. When I sell it, I got to do the thing in reverse. And I pay a lot of fees and there's a lot of friction. If we had an agreement in a payment system between the two regulators in Switzerland or Euro or British pounds or Singapore or Asia. We could pay in one single currency or payment system that could be provided by a very secure decentralized finance or a stable coin like a USDC or a DAI.
Yeah, I mean, there's no doubt. Look, there's no doubt that using digital assets, tokenizing digital assets, it's going to remove the middleman in a lot of the financial interactions that you have in your life, whether it's investing in currency, whether it's buying real estate, whether it's buying, investing in equities. It doesn't really matter. But one of the things that he said early on in this interview was that he was 5% in gold, but has a bigger percentage in digital assets. And, look, this isn't financial advice, but Rick Edelman is really huge in the financial world, and he's a financial advisor and had a huge company and now is doing digital asset training for financial advisors. But anyway, he calls for 10 to 40% in digital assets, so he's really a bull. I don't think that most financial advisors will go near that. But that's what he's calling for, which, look, for crypto people, that makes sense. But it's not going to make a lot of sense to people who are in typical securities just yet. So we'll see how it all plays out. All right, this is Larry Fink, and he's talking about the role of gold compared to the role of Bitcoin. So short clip here.
There is a role for gold, and there's a role for Bitcoin, which I believe are assets of fear. You own these instruments if you're frightened of the debasement of your currency. You own it if you have financial insecurities, or you own it if you have physical insecurities and worries. So that's one of the foundational issues of my journey in understanding crypto more. But today there's about $4.1 trillion sitting in digital wallets, growing very rapidly.
So look, we talk about digital gold, we talk about digital assets. In fact, CZ Binance is doing some sort of a debate with the gold bug who's out there. I forget his name, but he's doing a debate about tokenized gold compared to Bitcoin. And it's such an easy debate to win. I mean, look, the difference between tokenized gold and Bitcoin, and just look at the returns. I mean, tokenizing gold isn't going to change the returns. The Bitcoin returns blow away gold, and gold's done very well, but not nearly as well as Bitcoin. So there's really no comparison between the two. Digital Asset Investor posted this. This is actually really good. I want you to hear, what's his name? It escapes me. Mike Novogratz. Okay, Mike Novogratz. I disagree with most of the things Mike Novogratz says, including his Luna tattoo. But this is something very interesting that I don't disagree with. Hang on.
Assets and customers and it's hard for us to get because we've been grinding for 8 years, more than 8 years, quite frankly.
Yeah.
8 years as a public company. Is that in lots of ways, the checkered flag hasn't even fallen yet. Mm-hmm. The checkered flag will fall when this market structure bill gets passed. Mm-hmm. When I mean the checkered flag, it's when all the institutions say, hey, it's safe to swim in the pool.
Yeah.
When Google and Apple are having big meetings about what should we do with crypto.
Yeah.
Right? Like, you can't use stablecoins on your iPhone.
Yeah.
Use Apple Pay.
Yeah.
At one point, stablecoins are going to be there. By definition. And so the world is going to move into this architecture sometime in the next, I keep saying 18 to 36 months. Mm-hmm. I can't predict the exact time. Yeah. But the herd is finally coming. And I was 10 years early on that goddamn expression.
The herd.
Maybe when it finally shows up, I'm going to tattoo it very small on my because it was the right idea.
Yeah.
Man, oh man, it took longer than I thought. And part of that was freaking Gary Gensler and Elizabeth Warren and the slowdown. And part of it was it took a while for these blockchains to actually be built robustly enough to process. And there's still debate on, will these blockchains be fast enough? Are we going to have level 2s? Are level 2s really even blockchains? Right? Is base a database or is it a blockchain?
Yeah.
It's a fair debate. And I'm sure Brian would argue really loudly that it's a blockchain.
Yeah.
The skeptics will say, well...
Well, I agree 100%. I mean, look, the market structure bill, which is being worked on right now, which we should see we should see in weeks, but worst case by the end of the year, will establish, you know, all of the rules of the road. I mean, we already know that banks can hold crypto. I mean, it's like everything is falling in line, you know, with the XRP ETF launched today, but that market structure bill will be the final cog in the wheel so that all the financial institutions will know, hey, it's safe. It's safe to get into the pool. It's safe to get into crypto. All right, look, I mentioned to you a blockchain that is very interesting out there, and it's called the Canton Network. And here it is. Franklin Templeton expands its tokenized fund platform Benji to the Canton Network. Institutions can now use regulated tokenized funds for collateral and liquidity on chain, all within a secure permission setup. One more giant moving deeper into RWAs. So look, this Canton Network, unfortunately, we can't buy the tokens. They're private in the sense that you can only get them if you actually build on the platform. But I'm telling you, there are a lot of Wall Street giants that are using the Canton Network because it's private, right? So you know, when I hear when I've been surrounded by financial professionals, I hear them talking about the Canton Network, the XRP ledger, Ethereum, and Solana. Those are the ones that I hear everyone talking about tokenizing financial instruments on. So those are the ones that I think Wall Street is really going to key in on and make the best use of. All right, I've got some interesting real estate information. So one is Bill Pulte, who is officially the U.S. Director of Federal Housing. He posted, "We're actively evaluating portable mortgages." The idea of a portable mortgage is very interesting. It's very, very interesting. Now, if you're not from the United States, you know, this will still be interesting to you. But you know, there are a lot of people sitting in their homes that just won't sell their houses because they can't afford to, because they're sitting on 2%, 2.5%, 3%, 3.5% mortgages. And if they go and buy a new house, they can't, you know, at 6%, they have to buy nearly half the house that they might have now. So being able to pick up your mortgage and take it somewhere else is an incredible thing to consider. Anyway, so I think that's something that could help spark the real estate market. I do like that idea. And you think, oh, mortgage companies are going to freak out, mortgage brokers are going to freak out. Actually, not really, because, I mean, don't get me wrong, those are mortgages they won't write, but those deals aren't being written anyway. Those people aren't moving anyway. And then what will happen for the mortgage for the mortgage companies is when mortgage rates do go down really low again, everyone will refi knowing that it's portable, because now it becomes a financial asset. A mortgage becomes a financial asset. Very interesting. I want to learn more about that. Okay, look, I live in the great state of Florida, and we have a governor here that a lot of us really, really enjoy. Listen to what he has to say about property taxes in 20 seconds.
From the property tax situation. It's very important, given how that's pinched so many homeowners, particularly our senior citizens who have their homes paid off and they bought it 30 years ago for a certain amount. Now they're being told it's worth so much more and they have to pony up more and more money. It's almost like they have to pay rent to the government just to be able to enjoy their property. And that's wrong. And we need to do something about it.
He's actually looking into abolishing property taxes in the state of Florida. Now, I don't know how you do that. I don't know how you pay for police and teachers and fire and all this other stuff, but very interesting position he's taking, and it's going to be interesting to see how this thing plays out. Well, last thing is, I was bringing up the market cap multiplier earlier when we were talking about the inflows coming into XRP. And before I part, I just want you to know, I did build a crypto trading platform. It's a training course. I have one for normal retail investors. I have another one for financial advisors. So if you want to learn more about that, go to cryptocoachnick.com. It's cryptocoachnick.com. And in the description of this video, you'll see a link to get there and a discount code should you be interested. And that's it, guys. So please subscribe to my channel if you like my content. Share my videos with anybody you think might appreciate them. I'm not a financial advisor. This video is for entertainment and educational purposes only. Always do your own research. See you next time. Bye-bye.